What does success in jiu-jitsu mean to you? First, check out this video from right after today's class.
Long time no talk, but I'm back, baby, right here, Gracie University HQ for another amazing freaking leg lock class. Guido and Alex were our instructors, and I freaking learned so much today. It's crazy how when you've been gone for a while, when you come back, it just reignites that fire inside you, and you just realize how much you don't know, how much more there is to learn, and just how this freaking jiu-jitsu puzzle is freaking endless. So I have a lot to catch you up on. There's so much to tell you about what's been happening in the last couple of months, what's been happening in the last couple of days, and what I want to happen in 2026. But I gotta get home, I gotta hit the shower, I gotta pick up my kid from school, I got a lot on my plate. So I need some time to get my thoughts together, and so I'll record the rest at home. But if you've been wondering what's been happening with good old Chris Learns Jiu-Jitsu, if you've been wondering where the heck I've been, I will fill you in on everything right about now.
So I just made it home, and I had to rethink some things these past few weeks. And now I've got some new goals and some new plans for 2026, and I'm wondering how you define success in jiu-jitsu. As for me, I've been in kind of a weird headspace the last few weeks. I got promoted, combatives belt in November, hooray. I wrapped up a pretty brutal semester at school. I ended up getting sick for like 3 weeks. I had some family drama with some people in the hospital, and on top of all of that, I just applied to go back to school for my doctorate, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. This is mostly good things. These are positive things, okay? But some of the stuff I've been dealing with was also kind of heavy at the same time. And somewhere in all of that, jiu-jitsu took a backseat. And I realized that something was just kind of off. I didn't stop loving jiu-jitsu. I didn't stop believing in the long-term jiu-jitsu plan, but I lost my short-term meaning. For a long time, my goal was simple: get through combatives. I had spreadsheets, I had checklists, I was going to different locations, different schools, different academies to get all my classes in. I was trying to check the boxes and pass the test. That was my focus, pass the test. And then once I did that, I was like, okay, now what? Of course, I wanted to do what I love, which is teaching. I wanted to go back and teach martial arts, which of course, that means I've thought about the ICP and opening my own CTC someday, and I still want that. I still care about all of that. And that's still the long-term vision. That's still the long-term plan. But the reality is, that's not happening right now. And forcing it before, the timing was right wouldn't be honest. And so I had to ask myself a very different kind of a question. I had to ask myself, what is a jiu-jitsu goal that gives me direction right now without rushing or trying to force the bigger picture? And for me, the answer I came up with is competition. Now, I already know what you guys are going to say next, okay? Right now, there are probably about 100 armchair ADCC champions typing in the comments that I should leave Gracie University. They're probably saying, go to Atos, or go train at AOJ, or move to Texas and train at New Wave, or whatever it's called, right? Go train at whatever the hottest competition school is of the moment this week, okay? Let me save the keyboard competitors some freaking time. I love Gracie University. I love the way that Gracie University teaches. I love the structure. I love the linear progression. I love the methodical, step-by-step, systematic approach. It fits how my brain works, my list-loving, checkbox-loving brain. And I'm not abandoning that anytime soon, okay? But I'm also realistic, all right? I know that Gracie University isn't pumping out, IBJJF world champions, all right? I know that most people at Gracie University aren't competing every weekend. Some people, probably most, don't even compete at all. And you know what? That's fine. I'm not trying to be ADCC world champion. I'm not trying to be the IBJJF world champion. I'm not trying to chase somebody else's definition of success. I'm just trying to give myself a clear freaking target, okay? I'm trying to give myself a deadline, something real to focus on and to train toward, so I'm not drifting, okay? Look, the idea of competing gives my training focus. It gives me a reason to show up even when I'm tired. It gives me a reason to go and get my work and get my rounds in. It gives me a reason to stay honest, to stay vigilant, if you will, okay? Not as an identity, not as a guarantee, but just as a goal. Okay, I enjoyed class today. First day back in a while, I freaking loved it. But I'll be honest, today I didn't feel amazing. I felt rusty, I felt slow, I felt human, okay? But the difference between today and all the other days is today I freaking showed up. I showed up with intention. And that matters more than how sharp I felt or how many taps I got or how competitive I felt, because this season of my life isn't about sprinting. It's about playing the long game, okay? I'm thinking in terms of family, stability, growth. And I guess with those things in mind, competition isn't the destination. It's more like a bridge. So if you're one of those people, burning calories, typing out which school I should switch to, or, what I should do next, just know that I'm staying where I'm at. I'm setting a goal and I'm getting to work. So there's the update. And if you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking with me. So of course, I got to give you the 3 things. If you made it this far, you got to stay focused. Oh, I almost messed it up. If you made it this far, you got to stay focused, you got to stay positive, and you've always got to stay vigilant. See you next time.